Yeah, glitch the guarantee. E&E. With your boy shit. Glitch, nigga. Shit, I'm about to flood the streets like when the levees break. Criminal minds, my Garcia can navigate. Flowing while I'm blowing this gas. Nigga, no brakes. Niggas not seeing me ever. I mean, no dates. Fuck around and end up gone. You getting misplaced. E&E, the shit that I claim. You dealing with grace. Took over the game by storm like Rain's mixtape. Thankfully, I've been up to smoke like my mixtape. Counting cheddar shit, I'm about to make a grilled cheese. Niggas be faker than bad bitches with good weeds. On my John Wick shit like Keanu Reeves. Replacements won't be enough, you need the whole team. I've been a G since I could finish my ABCs. Kept it a buck so real niggas look up to me. This butcher boy shit get crazy when it's sick of me. I'm coughing out these dope bars till they sick of me.
Can't get rid of me, still can't find a remedy. Still blowing palmers, if it comes to Hennessy. E&E, we own our shit independently. When I go out on a limb, I take extremities. I can see right through on transparency. Heard their self-esteem low, insecurities. Now or never, like glitch the guarantee. What's the recipe? King L's Reflection 3. All these chapters in my life, you can turn the page. Books can't tell you my story, gotta live it down. Glitch got my back, yeah, you can copy that. Man, we control the seat, you can copy that. Leave your whole state red like Republicans. Putting fire on the track, now it's bubbling. Butcher boys, E&E, you in trouble, kid. At first 100 mil, you can double it.
Let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. Automatic nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Butcher boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Blow sick, corona, jealous in the motherfucker. Can't even take a step, that's how far I trust you. This black boy turned to shining king under pressure. West side fat jacks, I took more to measure. Shave the extras, that's business, starter fees. Street blues, what I talk, royal blood flowing free. Power on my mind, knows the gang is kind. Read between the lines, it was in my eye. If they ain't got real lines, it ain't hard to spot a counterfeit. Undefeated, ultra real, Fern Gully Mountain shit. Couple hot shots, turn on the frozen margaritas. Even better when it's served with some flawless features. Next year they gotta pay for these flawless features. Flawless victories from the flaws that they teach us. Now my flow imitate how I board the plane nonstop. The little J gon' take over with my time side.
Yeah, I get right to it. My nigga, we beg your pardon. We putting niggas back in boxes, yeah, they be harder. My flow be retarded. Sick, I need hella help. My groove came back, this must be how Stella felt. We just started kicking it like a yellow belt. We all made it to the pros. This is how LaMelo felt. You better yell out help. Here come the double team. You catch me in the spot, then you know that the boy is clean. The Louis V look mean with the magazine. So if you try it, you get shot. No vaccine. If you asleep before I came, then I'm the caffeine. I pull the jokers out the deck. Yeah, there ain't no laughing. In CEO fashion, we sticking to the business. Wouldn't even let a vegan knock me off my chicken. Something about the BBS when the sun is hitting. Should be flashing like the lights when you getting
Let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. Yeah, glitch the guarantee. E&E 2020 got me seeing so clear.
You already know what it is, man.
Butcher boy
Happy
shit.
and walk with us. Chaos Rain, what's good with you, baby?
Lost and glitch.
You know what it is, man. Happy and walk with us, man. Wednesday
We
night.
cool niggas.
Tap in.
This is the
Boogie
cool.
Major.
We on the rise now. Middle fingers in the sky now. Well, hey, so we high now. How we ride now? All coops with the top down. And we listen in the top down. Trees got a whole pound. Real G's when we come round. Niggas know how it's going down. Yeah, we on the up, bitch. Real shit you should fuck with.
You already know chaos.
Let me stay ballin'. Responsible by Spalding. Ball looking for the fall in. Soldiers all fall in. And we go all in. While we listening to all in. While you all talking. We smoking and coughing. Till we laying in the coffin. Glitching, nauseous. Just stepping out office. Yeah, this that bullshit. Kill him in vain is vanity. Do it again, it's insanity. Nauseous a real vigilante. Killing these kids is plan B. Hood is too hot with an antifreeze. Blowing on leaves in these planted trees. Don't break the code, this family. We cutting off legs like amputees. My flow was classic, antique. Freaking the beat is a Japanese. Ever our cook is a masterpiece. When money talk, I speak Japanese. Fire and flame mixed with gasoline. Passing my sons, that's a legacy. Study the gang, now they testing me. They dropped the ball, man, that's incomplete. Beat them so bad, make them retreat. All of these gems you can retweet. Play with your boys on repeat. You pay the price with your receipt. Below $1 million, flipping it. Everyday noise get sickening. Trying to flip bills to trillions. Turning these good girls to villains. Lyrics is sick. Put your bullshit. Any clip where we represent. Put it on wax like a candlestick. We moving units and measurements. Cooking it up in the lab. We just performing experiments. Since I'm the bomb atomic, these rappers out of my
We on the
element.
rise now, middle fingers in the sky now. Roller hey, so we high now. How we ride now? All coops with the top down. And we listen in the top down. Trees got a whole pound. Real G's when we come round. Niggas know how it's going down. Yeah, we on the up, bitch. Real shit you should fuck with. E&E, throw it up shit.
And we stay ballin'. Rock responsible by Spalding. Poor looking for the fall in. Soldiers all fall in. And we go all in. While we listening to all in. While you all talking. We smoking and coughing. Till we laying in the coffin. Glitching, nauseous. Yeah, stepping out office. Yeah, this that bullshit.
That bullshit, man. You hear me? My brother Chaos Reign in the building. Everybody show your support. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead, hit that super chat, man. Bless that baby. You hear me? Hit that cash snap. Cash slap. You need. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never used to say none of that stuff, but now that I'm monetized, I feel like it's I gotta say it now. You feel me? YouTube thought it was a good decision to monetize my little small ass channel. You need. So they see some type of value in it. So go ahead and bless it. That Cash App and that PayPal off in there in that about section. Bless that baby. Fucking you talking about, man. Bless that baby. You need. Tap in, walk with us. You already know what it is, man. We getting to it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, and we gonna do it like we used to it. Understand me? Shouts out to all the real ones. Shouts out to my brother Chaos Reign. Go subscribe to him. Go subscribe to my brother Red Supreme TV1. You need my brother Mr. O, man, with the info. Rest of the essence to the homie Sinful. You need. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to all the real ones that support the real ones, man. Not these goofy ass, non-content creating ass humans. You know? And tonight we get into it, man. You know what I'm talking about? SDG, Sustainable Development Goal number 11. Sustainable cities and communities, man. I've been sitting up here telling y'all I ain't going to never let up on this, man. I'm never letting up. I'm going to always talk about you in Agenda 2030 because that's what's going on. That's what's happening right now. Every blood clot team, y'all. I mean, every blood clot team we experience now in the United States of America. You understand me? Big result, UN Agenda 2030 for global sustainability, right? 17 sustainable development goals, right? And we on number 11. We got 6 more to go, right? I've been sitting up here telling y'all about this stuff, man. You hear me? I've been sitting up here telling y'all about this stuff, man. Tap in. The mega cities are on the way. The mega structures are on the way. Mega regions on the way. Wildlands Project, Wildlands Urban Interface, Urban Growth Boundaries, or Human Settlement Zones. Guess what the next SDG is? Huh? It's crazy, right? Now, this is how we go. I'm going to try this out tonight, y'all, all right? I'm going to try this out tonight. Bear with me, all right? Because I know it'd be kind of difficult for some people to hear the audio, but not the visual that go with it. But you know, we got to box cleverly over here. You understand what I'm saying, man? We got to box cleverly over here, right? Because they real super strict on the copyrights and all that ish, right? So we got to box cleverly, man. You did. We got to box real cleverly with how we do things, man. You feel me? That's why I'm in the process right now of switching a lot of stuff up, man. I just met up with my girl Yabi yesterday. You did. I'm about to have this financial content coming for y'all. Real actual stuff, right? My man Jay Jermaine commenting on the thing earlier. What's up with you, bro? You hear me? We're going to switch it up a little bit tonight, y'all, though, man. I'm going to just keep this on the screen right here, but I'm going to play the audio from my phone. You know what I'm saying? And it's the reason why I'm doing that, right? And, you know, we want to keep down on the copyright stuff because they be acting crazy on that little stuff. See, when you become monetized, they start scrutinizing all your content, even going into the archives and looking at old stuff. Right, that's why it's a good idea to do a big purge, which I have been kind of procrastinating, not gonna lie, but you know what I'm saying, this Sunday I'm going to make a huge effort to do it this Sunday. I'm a real busy guy, but I really need to really make some time to sit to the side and really just sit at the crib for like a day and just do a day of purging. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, though, man, when you become monetized, they be screwed. When you become monetized, that's when they scrutinize. You did. Sustainable cities and communities, man. You hear me? I've been telling y'all about this. Been talking to y'all about this. I'm going to keep talking to y'all about this. Now, I don't want to ever discourage nobody. I don't want to ever discourage nobody from buying property because I'm going to buy some property. Right? But what I want to let y'all know is when you're buying property, you must be aware of UN Agenda 2030. All the ordinance and zoning laws that are being usurped and circumvented, and even new ones introduced, all based off of UN Agenda 2030 protocols. The United Nations is giving millions and billions of dollars to the United States in order to bring in this smart grid, new structure and system that they have planned for everybody globally. All right. And here we is with it right now, man. Number 11, sustainable cities and communities, man. Well, I've been telling y'all about this stuff, man. The mega cities are on the way. They're being built right now in front of our face, man. Like literally in our faces, man. Literally. I know, especially in my city. I'm seeing the beginning process of creating the mega structures, right? Let's go.
Again. In this video, we'll be talking about UN Sustainable Development Goal number 11, which is all to do with creating sustainable cities everywhere. Here's what we know. About 3.5 billion people live in cities in today's world, but 828 million people live in slums today. Although cities occupy just 3% of the Earth's land, they account for 60 to 80% of energy consumption and 75% of carbon emissions. Also, rapid urbanization exerts pressure on fresh water supplies, sewage, environment, and health. Here's what the UN strives to do. By the year 2030, the UN would like to make adequate, safe, and affordable housing services accessible for everyone, and create safe, affordable, accessible, and sustainable transport systems while improving road safety. They would also like to improve air quality and put waste control into effect. Here are some things you can do to help. The easiest way is to help keep the place you live as clean and as safe as possible in any way you can come up with. You can also volunteer to help through programs and at events.
Right. Right. I'm telling y'all, man. I'm sitting up here trying to tell y'all, man.
No matter where we live, whether that's a big city or small island, life is better when our cities and communities are filled with green spaces, kept clean and safe, and welcoming of everyone who lives there. That's why it's important to properly plan and maintain our cities and communities. And if things aren't running smoothly, fix it. We want our cities and communities to be places where everyone can learn, work, and enjoy where they live. Communities need to change and grow with the needs of the people that live there. But global population growth means that more and more people now live in cities, using up lots more resources and producing more waste. And in rural communities, when people get sick, they must often travel long distances to get access to basic services. But thankfully, good people everywhere are working to make our cities and communities better, like building streets that can gather rainwater and store it for people to use in their homes, saving money, or designing pedestrian-only streets to reduce the need for cars on the road. And some architects are even designing bridges to protect cities during storms. The future of our cities and communities depends on all of us working together to make the world a better place.
You know? Lance Parker, what it do, man? Tap in and walk with us, man. Right? Listen to what these people are saying, man.
By 2050, 2/3 of the world's population is expected to reside in cities. Cities are the centers of life, culture, art, and education. At the same time, they are drivers of global emissions and pollution, and places where social segregation and exclusion manifest the most. Simply put, in cities, the most pressing of the grand societal challenges, poverty, pollution, and social conflict come together. In our efforts to preserve our planet and to allow future generations to prosper, we increasingly focus on making cities more sustainable. But what exactly does that mean? The ability to sustain has many facets and many meanings. According to the dictionary definition, it can refer to the ability to carry or withstand. Various efforts are underway that seek to make cities more sustainable by, for instance, making them resilient towards rising sea levels and extreme weather phenomena. However, resilience is not just a feature of our built environment, but also of our social environment. Communities need to build resilience, strengthening social cohesion and inclusion, so they won't break under the strain of an aging society, global migration, and technological progress. The ability to sustain is also defined as the ability to supply with sustenance, to nourish, while treading lightly on resources. Given cities' vast environmental footprint, small measures can often lead to a tremendous impact. In this, cities cannot be perceived in a vacuum, since they are rarely self-sustaining. They need to be considered as part of broader systems, such as the surrounding countryside that provides food, energy, as well as housing to thousands of commuters. They also need to be regarded in context of the global trade routes that supply them with goods and resources. In addition to these regional and global networks, a city itself is often perceived as a system of systems. Large cities and urban areas contain millions of inhabitants, tens of thousands of businesses, and hundreds of neighborhoods and sub-communities.
Right? Now listen. By 2030, right? By 2030, It's going to say it's projected that 2/3 of the human population on Earth will be living in cities. How is that possible? How is that possible? Right? How is that going to be possible? Right? Y'all know how many people live on Earth right now? Y'all know how many people live is on the global population? Do y'all understand how many people it is? It's not what they're telling us. Right? It's like 9+ billion people on the planet. Right? They tell us it's 7.7 some lying ass number like that, right? Well, let's just round up. Let's just round up. Right? You know how many people that is? That's like 6 billion people. That's down there 8 billion people. Right? Now, where are they going to put 8 billion people? Y'all already should know where I'm about to go with this. Now, mind you, everybody on this planet can live comfortably inside the state of Texas. How many of y'all knew that? How many of y'all knew that? Right? So the question is, where are they going to put all these people? UN, Agenda 2030, Sustainable Development Goal 11. Sustainable cities and community. On Monday, I was telling y'all about the social credit system. This is also part of what they call sustainable communities. I'm telling y'all, the social credit system is kind of already here. We're being desensitized and preemptively programmed through social engineering, social media, Facebook, Instagram. Next thing you know, they're going to be telling us we need to have the Oculus lens because now Facebook is going completely digital, which means the only way to interact with it is in the metaverse. So it ain't no mistake why Mark Zuckerberg bought Oculus like 10 years ago. Y'all got to see this. Y'all got to see the play. Y'all got to peep the strategic play. You did? You got to peep the demo, man. Got to peep the demo, man. At all times, you have to be able to peep the demo. Right? Let's go.
Each stakeholder has a part to play in making the city as a whole more sustainable. People need to adapt their behavior, businesses need to innovate, and governments need to provide the regulatory framework. At the same time, cities consist of various types of infrastructures, such as streets, power grids, water supply, or communication networks. Sustainability can be improved in each of these systems and in services associated with them. It is not without reason that cities are amongst the most complex forms of organizations known. To manage this complexity and improve long-term sustainability of urban life, many cities are embracing technological progress, projects and initiatives that seek to leverage information systems in making cities smarter. We can see examples of how information technology shapes sustainable cities and communities all around us. Smartphone apps like Bautenbeta or Zürich wie Neu allow residents to report issues in the city.
See, we never even heard of those, right? We're talking about sustainable cities, right? Sustainable cities and communities. So, right? What is this all leading to? Specifically, this aspect of the agenda. I always talk to y'all about it, and I ain't never going to stop. I'm never letting up. Because it's happening right now in our faces, man. You look in your city where you're from, if you live in one of the 14 major cities, you can't even deny this stuff, man. It's right in your face. Right? This stuff is crazy, man. You hear me? Seriously. Y'all know where they going with this, man. I keep telling y'all the mega cities is on the way. Why do you think they is invading, or should I say, flooding America with immigrants? Illegal immigrants at that. Mind you, they're not legal migrants. They're illegal immigrants. Right? Most of them have broken the law to get here. And it's the reason why they created the legislation of anchor babies. It's the reason why they came up with the terminology asylum seeker. Y'all gotta understand what these words mean, man. You know what it means to be a citizen? A citizen is just a fancy word for slave. What about a denizen? Right? Tap in, y'all, listen up.
Such as potholes or overflowing trash cans, directly to the municipality, along with pictures and precise locations. They receive feedback once the issue has been fixed. This example of citizen sourcing promotes civic responsibility and community participation while improving the quality of life within the city. Within the Brooklyn microgrid project, Siemens and the startup company LO3 Energy partner to enable residents to sell excess energy from their solar panels to their neighbors. This peer-to-peer approach is based on blockchain technology and exemplifies how IT supports the supply of cities with clean energy. Transportation networks are the lifeblood of cities. Often, access to mobility is equivalent to access to labor and to participation in social life. Sharing platforms, be it for rides, bikes, or cars, can make mobility accessible to people who could not afford it before, impacting the social dimension of sustainability. Combined with functioning public transportation services, they may also encourage people to forfeit car ownership completely, thus reducing congestion and emissions in the city. Public transport operators themselves can also contribute substantially to making cities and communities more sustainable. Digital apps are used to tailor public transport schedules to citizens' needs, and the transition to electric bus fleets powered by renewable sources enables zero carbon mobility within cities. RET illustrates in their video how such a transformation to sustainable transportation is realized in Rotterdam.
Tap in, y'all. When they're talking about sustainable cities and communities, this is what they're talking about. And I keep telling y'all, go watch this movie, Dread. Go watch this movie, Dread, man. Y'all want to get a good idea and depiction of where this is headed, go watch that movie. Right? It's going to bug you out. That movie has every SDG in it. On full display. Right? Sit here. All right. Mega City 1. Los Angeles. Mega City 2. New York. Mega City 3. Chicago. What y'all think Mega City 4 gonna be? Or is? Right? Tap in.
Cities are fascinating, complex systems that change rapidly across the globe. They showcase the pinnacles of art and architecture. They are also home to millions living in abject poverty and despair. Some are efficient and busy metropolises with fresh air and clean water. Others stand on the precipice to destruction, fueled by cancerous, uncontrolled development, pollution, and corruption. But if the transition to sustainable cities and communities fails, we will fail. It is the responsibility of every stakeholder, citizens, businesses, and public organizations to make this transition happen. Will you help?
Huh? Now they're trying to put it on us. Like it's our problem. And it is. It most definitely is, y'all. And I want y'all to look at these images that I be showing y'all, man. And let them sink in. Take them in. Do your own research. Look into this. Sit back and watch the movie Dread. Right? The reason why I keep telling y'all to watch that movie, man, because it literally showcasing every aspect of UN Agenda 2030. Like literally every aspect. Every SDG or Sustainable Development Goal is in full effect in this movie. In the society of this movie known as Mega City 1. Right? The Hall of Justice. The Ministry of Truth. Mega regions, mega structures. One world police state. Police force, military/police force. All drugs are basically legal. High crime. Terribly overpopulated cities. Mega City 1 has a population of 800 million people. The mega structures, all the buildings with their names. Where else are they going to put damn near 7 billion people on this planet if by 2030, which is not even 7 years from now, y'all, where they going to put all these people at? Huh? If it is planned for 2/3 of the world's population to be living in cities by the year 2030, which is a little over 6 years from now, where are they going to put them? Right? Where are they going to put them? I love showing y'all these maps right here because this put things in perspective. This is the Wildlands Project. Y'all hear me talk about this often, right? XL Pro, what it do, man? What's up with my brother XL Pro, man? In the building. Right? Now, I show y'all this map often. Hopefully some of y'all want to go check it out for yourself and do your due diligence, right? So you can come to the proper conclusion for yourself. But nonetheless, I'm going to continuously talk about it and bring it up. I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm not going to ever stop. Right? The Wildlands Project. Sustainable cities and communities. I'm gonna be bringing this up again tomorrow. They talk about sustainable cities and communities. Now, if y'all look at this map that I've shown y'all so many times before, what you will see is this is a color-coded map. And there's a legend right there, too. Right? There's a legend right there. Let me remove my homie Chaos Reigns comment real quick. Right? And I want y'all to look at these bits right here that I'm about to blow up. Right? Y'all see the little green bits all sprawled throughout the map, right? If y'all look on the legend of the map, these are the areas of the country when UN Agenda 30 is in full effect, the Wildlands Project side of it. This is what they want. The green bit areas, those are for normal use, meaning for normal use by us humans. Now, if you look at this map, you will see little green bits sprawled through all out the map. But what you see more than anything is massive bits of yellow and red. And if you look at the legend of the map, the red bits are absolutely no human presence whatsoever. And the yellow is highly regulated human presence. If any at all. Probably only if you work in this area. All the other green bits you see is for normal use, meaning normal human life. This is where all the cities are going to be. Mega cities, mega regions. Right? I keep telling y'all to tap in and walk with me, man. Keep telling y'all, man. You hear me? Y'all need to go look into this stuff, man. And familiarize yourself with this. Do your due diligence and do your research. Because whether you want to believe it or not, accept it or not, this thing is happening. And like I always tell y'all and keep telling y'all and will continue to tell y'all, there's nothing we can do. That's the main reason why I go so hard on this subject, y'all. Because it has already, I want y'all to understand that it has already been settled. This was settled years ago without our consent, wittingly without our consent, not knowingly with our consent. It's been done nefariously, secretly, manipulatory. You feel me? They sneak this stuff in through the legislation that they get us to vote for without letting us know the full extent of what we're voting for or what's all involved. Because who actually reads the law? I do. Who actually reads when the Senate passes a SB or a Senate bill? Who actually reads it when the House releases a House resolution like HR 1955? who actually reads that stuff, right? Not many, right? Let me tell you something. I read it. This is why I know what's going on. I read the legislation. And I strongly encourage y'all to do the same thing, because this is how they're able to get this stuff off, because they know that we've been so dumbed down collectively that we don't even look into this stuff. Right? A lot of us don't even know that as we speak, as you can look on this map and see the middle of the country, it's being gutted right now. What's going on with all these farmers in this area? Their fields are being contaminated with Terminator seeds from Monsanto. They're being denied access to primary water wells. They're being also subjected to weather weapons when they don't comply and sign over rights to their lands to governmental organizations and private interests, corporate interests as well. Right? This is all going on as we speak and has been for quite some time. Right? Now look at this map, y'all. You got the red parts are the core reserves and corridors. Little to no human use. Look how much red is throughout the country. Yellow, buffer zones, highly regulated use. This is all the yellow parts you see in this map. This is the only human presence that will be in these areas where you see the yellow at is probably if you work in these areas. Remember when I keep telling y'all about assigned housing, assigned employment. Here we go. So what do y'all think sustainable communities and sustainable cities actually means? What do they look like? Why you think in all the rural areas of the country, they are getting people off of their land? They're making everybody, forcing everybody to move into the cities. This is going on all across America. They are destroying suburban living. This is what the wildlands urban interface is all about, to create boundaries where the wildlands meet the urban areas, the wildlands urban interface, human brain computer interfacing. They throwing that word out there to desensitize you to it. And this is why they had set up the smart meters everywhere, because they know that a lot of these housing developments are in the rural areas, close to vegetation, wilderness. So much so to right here in the inner city, in your inner cities where you live, you notice you're starting to see a lot more wildlife on the side of the road. You've seen a lot of roadkill, a lot of deer, a lot of beavers, a lot of squirrels, a lot of skunks, a lot of forestry animals. A lot of, you starting to see that in your neighborhoods, in your cities. I know y'all seeing it. I'm seeing it in Columbus. I'm writing down, right? I'm writing down McNaughton Road, right? I'm writing down McNaughton Road, which is a very busy thoroughfare, right? Might I add. And as I'm riding down McNaughton Road, I see a baby, not even a big full-grown deer, a baby deer smashed on the side of the road. This is unsustainable, y'all. They spreading the urban growth boundary so far out that it's beginning to interface with the wildlands, with the woods, the forestry. The animals don't have nowhere to go. I said the animals don't have nowhere to go. So they're going to be forced inward, which is going to bring their populations down, because as they interface with the urban areas, you got traffic. This isn't sustainable because this is money they have to spend on sending people out there to come clean up massive amounts of roadkill. I see all type. I see deer, beavers, badgers. I seen a fox. This all type of wildlife on the side of these roads dead in my city, man. Even in the inner city sections, right? So when they talk about sustainable cities, man, they're talking about smart cities, mega cities. They're talking about having us live in human growth zones or human development zones. All the green parts you see on the map, all the green parts you see on this map are where humans are to be. Notice that there's not a lot of green in here. If you notice that all the green is normally is concentrated in this region, in the East Coast region, right? Not so much so on the West Coast. Look at California, y'all. Look at California. Look at California, y'all. It's basically about to be depopulated. So this is what they're talking about when they say by 2030, they're going to have 2/3 of the Earth's population living in cities. Now, when they say 2/3 of the Earth's population, does that necessarily mean 2/3 of the currently down near 9 billion on Earth right now? Think about what I just said, y'all. 2/3 of the population. Do they mean the current population? Or do they mean the population that is going to be in 2030? Think about that, y'all. Think about that, right? And in this this yellow or tannish looking thing color right here, right? This is the border buffer zone, right? This is the border La Paz sidebar agreement of the NAFTA, right? Of NAFTA, or the North American Free Trade Association. This is a 200-mile wide international zone of cooperation, right here, 200 miles wide, going into Mexico. The pink is the Indian reserves, and the grayish looking spots you see is where the military installments is at. You don't see too many of those over here on the East Coast or in the Midwest. You don't see really any, right? But you see them concentrated in this area, this southwestern area right here. This is like Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, California. So look at all the red in this area. Look at all the pink in this area. They're going to be concentrating all the so-called native $5 Indians over here in this region. Now, mind y'all, these are all going to be smart cities, wireless, digital, ran by unintelligent artificial intelligence, communicating with each other through 5, 6, 7, and plus G digital frequencies. Right? Right? And this is what they mean when they talk about sustainable cities. Every last city you see on this map is a green area on the map. All these cities are going to be smart cities. They are going to be synced and linked to each other, and they're going to be grouped in mega regions. You got the NAFTA superhighway system that's going to be connecting all of this stuff through train systems. Right? Notice how they got the green areas where they got us living. They got us living amongst no buffer zone, but buffer zones where we don't supposed to be, or highly regulated for us to be. And then I got a lot of these red core reserves and corridors that have no human use whatsoever. A lot of these are in current cities that are heavily populated, and a lot of these are planned to be in areas where you see populations by. I keep telling y'all need to, man, y'all need to put yourself up on game about this stuff, man. This is serious, man. The mega regions, the mega cities, the mega structures, they are on the way. I'm talking about they are literally being built in our faces, and we don't even realize it, man.
Make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable.
I told y'all about those 2 words right there, y'all. Right? Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. Listen, 2 words that y'all need to be on the lookout for when you watch the news, the lamestream media: resilient and sustainable. Resilient and sustainable. Be on the lookout for those 2 words, man. Whenever you hear the words resilient does no longer mean, it no longer means the ability to bounce back and recover from adversity or a trying situation. Resilience now means your ability to adapt to increasingly worse living situations. That's what resilience means now. Now, sustainability means we ain't making no money off of it, or costing too much money. Don't get caught up in paper money dollars. When you think of money, think of energy, because that's all it's a representation for. Energy. Too much consumption. You see, they're trying to cut down on consumption by cutting down on the population. So you got to understand, when you look at this map, a lot of the places where these human development zones, these human growth zones, these human development zones or human settlement zones, right? They're sprawled out through the country. What about these people that live in these big, huge cities like in this area right here, New York, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Baltimore, Washington, D.C.? What about all these cities in this region, right? What about over here in our area, where I'm at? Cleveland, Cincinnati, Columbus, Kentucky, Indiana. Looking down south, look at Texas. You got Dallas right here. You got Houston right here. Like, what about all these cities? Looking down south, look at Atlanta. You hear me? What about New Orleans? Look how much red is in these areas. This red areas is supposed to be where there is no human activity whatsoever. Right? This is where they're going to have the big machines running everything that they ain't telling us about. Right? Think it's a game, man. It ain't no game, y'all, man. This is real. Man. This ain't no conspiracy theory. This is real. You hear me? This is very real. This is going on. All states have a wildlands project. All states have a goddamn climate action and resilient plans. Look at these maps, man. These are projected maps, man. Look at all these. Look at out where we got California, we got Los Angeles, Houston, Las Vegas, Northern California, Oregon. Now, not a lot of people live in this region where you see a lot of this red at, but there are some major cities in this area. What about Phoenix, Arizona, Santa Fe, New Mexico, right? Los Angeles, California, the whole state of California. The whole state of California is doomed or is set for extreme depopulation. Look at California, y'all. Look at the East Coast, northwest, the northeast region of the country. That red part represents no human presence, no human use. Humans will not be in these areas where you see these red areas at. Look at this right here. Now, out here, a lot of this land is empty and not occupied by humans at all. It's a lot of open spaces and stuff in this area. But in this area is where we start to get where the majority of people live. This is where the mega cities is going to be, all up in here, up in this region. There's going to be cities up in this area, but not a lot. So when they're talking about having 2/3 of the population in cities, where are they going to put them? Where they're going to put everybody? If you look on this map right here, this is a projected map of what they want, of what America is going to look like under UN Agenda 2030, the Wildlands Project. The even bigger question is, what are all these open spaces going to be used for? You understand me? It's crazy, man. Tap in and walk with us. Let's go.
If you think of some amazing cities in the world, how many come to your mind? Plenty, right? Nowadays, more than half of the population live in urban areas. The expansion of cities not only has allowed quick progress, but has also brought problems such as the bad management of natural resources, pollution, lack of basic services, and the increase of marginalized areas. The forecast is that by 2050, the equivalent of 3 planets will be necessary to maintain our style of life. That's why we should...
And that's BS right there, y'all. That's BS. Like I told y'all, man, do your research into such things, man. The entire human population currently right now could fit comfortably inside of the state of Texas. All damn near 9 billion of us. Comfortably. If they just would use this technology that they have access to for what it's actually designed to do. Stop hogging 0-point energy. Stop hogging all your technology y'all got in structural wise in engineering. I mean, we see the awesomeness of human ingenuity when it comes to construction, when it comes to architecture. We see that all the time. All y'all girls trying to get here. Mega structures. That's a mega structure. This is a mega structure. That tall ass building in Dubai, that's a mega structure. They built the island and built the building on top of the island. Right? They built the island off the ocean. You understand what I'm saying? Like, look at Dubai, man. We got mega cities in full effect right now. Right? Let's go to some of the other mega cities on the planet, man. Right? Look at these cities, man. You understand how many people live in Rio de Janeiro, man? How many of y'all know the population of Rio de Janeiro? They are literally living on top of each other in cities like Rio, right? I mean, they're literally living on top of each other. Damn near 7 million people live in that city, man. These cities are already huge and damn near overpopulated, right? Let's go to another city. Let's go to New York City. New York City has down near 8 million people, right? Right? There's already too many people in these cities, man. You hear me? How many people y'all think live in Beijing? Wow. 21 million people live in Beijing. Could you imagine living in a city where 21 million people live in the city? Like, these cities are huge already, right? They're already huge. Right? We got huge cities. We already got mega cities. We already have mega structures right here in our face. Let's go.
Hours. We can and should all commit to the cause. You can get inspired by Jerome Guillen, a Californian engineer entrepreneur that developed a new business line for his company with a brutal impact in the sustainability of urban transport. He created what is now the biggest company of car sharing, that with other companies of the sector are radically changing the way of circulating in cities, reducing pollution and improving mobility. There are already 775 less tons of CO2 that are being saved. With you, it seems like it has just started. 1. You still don't know the activities your neighborhood offers? Your neighborhood can improve hugely if all of you clean and take care of it. But you can also get to the less favored areas instead of just beautifying your own. 2. Try to promote shared cars instead of buying one, or even bikes. In some cities, these initiatives have reduced the cars that transit the city by 2,000. 3. Help beautify public spaces. From something as simple as not throwing trash on the ground to starting an urban garden. 4. At work, minimize the number of on-site meetings out of the office. Encourage teleworking and flexible timetables to avoid congestion and pollution. 5. Encourage inclusive activities with senior citizens, disabled, or those in vulnerable situations with their family and work colleagues, and achieve more accessible infrastructures for your community. How far do you want to go? You choose the finish line.
Mr. O, LaQuay, what's good? We got Mr. O with the info in the building. My baby LaQuay in the building. You know what I'm talking about? Sustainable goal, development goal, number 11. Resilient or sustainable cities and communities, right? All I'm dropping the link right now, and I want y'all to come up and explain to me and tell me about the construction going on in y'all city. Are y'all paying attention to it? Do y'all realize that all the construction going on in your city, all of it is residential? All of it. I've been looking into this for quite some time, y'all. And the mega structures are being built right in our faces, man. Right? Right in our faces.
The world is becoming increasingly urban. We'll need to build a new city for 1 million people every week to keep up, or manage the growth of the cities we already have. The battle for sustainable development will be won or lost in our cities, working with the rural areas on which they depend for food and natural resources. Mayors and local governments are already taking action to win this battle. We provide basic services and work with slum dwellers and neighborhoods to upgrade their living conditions. We improve air quality by investing in public transport and green mobility. We protect the environment through sustainable waste management.
I done sit up here and we already broke down waste management. They want to feed our shit and piss back to us. This is what it's called cutting down on consumption. Let's go.
We tackle urban segregation by ensuring quality green and public spaces for all. We protect urban cultural heritage for future generations. We monitor and regulate land use to make cities more resilient to climate change and disasters. We involve our communities in planning for inclusive and sustainable urbanization. Local and regional governments seek strong partnerships with national governments to ensure enabling legal frameworks and adequate resources, and play our full role in achieving Sustainable Development Goal 11, which is sustainable cities and communities.
I keep trying to tell y'all, man, this is nothing we can. The reason why I keep showing y'all these videos, man, because I want y'all to get it in y'all's head that there's nothing we can do to stop this. It is happening. Ain't no passing no laws that's going to stop this. No, it is already happening. It's already been settled, man. This is why we are seeing the things being done in our cities that are being done. And we asking ourselves like, man, what is all this stuff about? Why are they changing up the zoning laws? Why are they changing up the ordinance laws? What is all this construction, perpetual construction on our freeways, in certain streets in our cities, in our neighborhoods? What's with all this construction of these stack 'em, pack 'em structures? What is all this construction in the rural areas right outside of the metropolitan areas being urbanized? We're starting to see on the outskirts of our cities, what we call the suburbs, they are all being massively constructed, construction going on within them. And all of this construction is housing. You seeing all these apartment communities coming up. All over your city, all around the outskirts, even in the inner city, we're starting to see all the development and building and constructing of these huge apartment complexes. Who are they building that stuff for? Right? I keep telling y'all that the mega structures are on the way. Tap in and walk with me, man. You did. And this is all part of SDG 11. When they're talking about sustainable cities and communities, they're talking about cities that have controlled populations, all of them living in mega structures, and all of them having assigned employment and assigned housing. This is what they call sustainable cities, where everybody does their due diligence, everybody does their fair share, everybody plays their part. Nobody's above anybody. Everybody has assigned housing based off of their employment and where they work. There's a nationwide, international down there rail system that connects all major cities. So there's really not going to be too many need for everybody to have a car. Think about that. It's not going to be necessary for everybody to have a car, because that's not sustainable due to the so-called emissions from the. This is why they're talking about putting everything on electric. Electric power solely and mainly is going to destroy our environment. What's left of it anyway. It's going to completely destroy it. Right? You ever seen what a tree look like standing next to a 5G cell mast tower? There are even disguising these 5G towers and 6 and 7G towers. Now they're even disguising them as trees. Notice what happens to these things when they get next to real trees. And the reason why they're disguising them as trees, because they plan on having them everywhere like trees. Right? Look at this stuff. This stuff is terrible. Right? This is what they're talking about when they're talking about resilient or sustainable cities. They're talking about having our cities with these 5, 6, and 7G cell mast transmitter towers placed every 300 yards in our neighborhoods, our residential neighborhoods. All of our houses now have smart meters on the back of them. They're about to start introducing the smart water meters. Mind you, water that is recycled. They're not giving us access to pure alkaline primary water. No, we're drinking secondary water, recycled water. Recycled or recycled, the recycling of fecal matter. And as y'all seen when I showed y'all the wastewater treatment video, we're eating water that has been contaminated with poop, piss, and peels. And then, like I showed y'all in the artificial womb facilities, they came up with a fusion process that turns the waste from the humans being grown. They have a fission process that turns the fecal matter mixed with chemicals back into a consumable energy source. Recycle Ouroboros agenda. I keep telling y'all we're being made to consume ourselves. Very cannibalistic in its nature. It's very diabolical. This is all what SDG 11 and all the rest before and after are about. They're about dumbing us down, depopulating all of us to such small numbers concentrated in huge settlement zones that are going to have these cell mast towers just sprawled all throughout them. We're going to be surrounded by all these frequencies. We're going to have to walk around with magnetic fields protecting us. And we're going to have to sleep in Faraday beds. Remember I told y'all about Michael Faraday? We'll have to sleep in Faraday beds. This is Michael Faraday right here. And we're going to have to be sleeping in Faraday beds pretty soon here. All these frequencies. Now think about this, y'all. All of these new communities that they're building all across the country, lifestyle communities, art communities, all these different apartment homes, these so-called luxury apartment home complexes where they have common halls, and they're smart. They all have Wi-Fi in them. They all have all electric everything, no gas, no natural gas. And they're all 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stories high. These are the beginnings of the megastructures. Tap in and walk with me, man. Right? Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. You did. You know? The mega structures are on the way. The mega cities are on the way. Right? And I want y'all to understand this, man. You hear me?
Stronger storms and typhoons, frequent flooding, historic heat waves.
I better do some research on who Michael Faraday is.
Just some of the potential impacts of climate change. Asia's urban population is currently estimated to be 2 billion people. By 2050, this is expected to increase to 3.3 billion, representing 52% of the world's urban population.
Unfortunately, cities and
More than half of the world's urban population lives in China. More than half of the world's urban populations lives in China.
Asia also suffer from chronic stresses like traffic, pollution, flooding, and
Smash that like button, hit the bell, y'all, man. Hit that super chat, man.
with increasing intensity and frequency of extreme weather events. Climate change further heightens the pressures already straining urban areas. Access to potable water, affordable housing, and urban poverty are only some of the problems in cities. Due to the wide impacts, climate change has a multiplying effect on these stresses, thereby exposing cities to more serious disasters.
One of ADB's responses to addressing these challenges is through the concept of urban climate change resilience. Integrating UCCR principles in the planning and management of cities can help with these problems.
So what is UCCR?
UCCR is the capacity of cities to function so that the people living and working there, particularly the poor and vulnerable, thrive despite daily stresses and survive shocks such as disasters related to climate change. It also involves improving preparedness and adopting recovery measures from all types of disasters. Resilience is a rethinking of risk management to dynamically adapt to climate, social, economic, and environmental challenges through an integrative and systematic approach that works across scales, sectors, time, and dimensions.
Cities and the development agencies working with them have identified 7 entry points for action that they can adopt to strengthen urban climate change resilience.
1. Climate information and urban growth data. Good information on the risks in an area and the extent to which the city's system and its citizens are exposed to climate change and its adverse impact on the stressors affecting the area is essential to make the right decisions at the right time and to take the necessary actions to improve resilience.
Number 2, urban planning. Urban planning mandates where and how a city develops and takes into consideration future growth and appropriate land use. For planning to be resilient, it needs to be informed by good data, integrate different sectors and scales, and be iterative and inclusive.
3.
Who's going to determine if that information is accurate? Who's going to determine if somewhere is deemed unsustainable to build or to live? Who's going to be in control of that? Right? I'm sitting here trying to tell y'all, man.
Infrastructure and services. Infrastructure and services for water and sanitation, power, roads and public transportation, telecommunications, ecosystems, homes and offices, hospitals and schools all need to be robust to withstand the impacts of climate change and the problems they bring forth. A resilient city makes sure that each of these...
Notice that they blaming a lot of this stuff on climate change. There's nothing we humans could possibly do collectively to change the climate. Right? And when I say we humans, I'm talking about us regular folk. There's not an amount of trash we could throw in the oceans to change the climate. There's not enough trash we could throw in the ocean to change the trajectory system of the conveyor belt system, if you would, of the ocean's currents. There is nothing we can do to prevent that or stop that. Right? That's not a see what they do is they have confused us or have manipulated us into misconstruing or mixing up these situations, man. You know, telling us that, you know, we have a population or we have a pollution problem, which is infecting the environment for sure. But since a lot of the stuff that they have tell us been affecting the environment actually is not, now they got to take it to climate change. Notice how it went from global warming to climate change. The climate and the environment have absolutely nothing to do with each other. They are not the same thing. And they sit up here and tricked us into thinking that when we talk about climate, or when they talk about climate, they're talking about the environment. Climate change and environmental change ain't got nothing to do with each other. They're not the same thing. I want y'all to understand that. Another way they're going to bring about sustainable cities, right? Something else I'll always be telling y'all about. Right? Something else I'll always be telling y'all about. Are y'all familiar with your city's climate action and resilient plan? This has a lot to do with what we're talking about. Do your city have a climate action plan or a climate action and resilience plan? Huh? And I want y'all to pay attention to this because this got a lot to do with resilient cities and sustainable cities. I want y'all to understand that zero carbon emissions means no life on Earth. It is literally the gas of life. We breathe it out, trees breathe it in. There are way more trees than us. Right? Tap in and walk with me, y'all. I'm just telling you, I'm trying to break this thing down, y'all, so y'all can understand how serious this is. And like I tell y'all, man, this is not a matter of passing some laws, man. It has already been settled. It's happening. It's in full effect. That's the reason why everything in the world is happening in the way it is. Why you think all of a sudden our borders are being flooded with illegal immigrants from Central South America and Mexico and Caribbean, and of course other places around the world? Why y'all think the so-called war over there in the Ukraine amongst Russia, why do you think that is happening? Right? Climate action and resilient plans, man. What y'all know about y'all cities, climate action and resilient plans. Right? Let me see something real quick, y'all. Tap in, walk with us, man. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social engineering. You understand me, man? We kicking this real talk over here with y'all, man. We talking about real stuff, man. You dig? I'm talking about this stuff is serious right here, man. This is very serious, man. And I want y'all to realize how serious it is. That's why I go so hard on this stuff, man. Right? You hear me? Tap in, y'all, man. Right? Was that a pre-recorded or was that a live? Oh no, that was a lie. That was a lie. That was a lie. I just want to pull up an old live on screen for y'all, so y'all can see what I'm talking about. All right. I just seen Genesis the other day too. Y'all remember when Genesis came on the show? I just seen Genesis, last Friday. I bumped into her. Right? You know, I'm trying to find an episode I did when I was talking. Me and Yabi, remember my girl Yabi came on the show? We about to put something nice together. You did? For y'all on the financial side. Tap in and walk with us, man. You did? Yeah, it's a classic right there. Classic. Man, where's that damn stream at, man, when I was talking about the damn climate action and resilient plans, man? Well, it's on there somewhere, man. It's on there somewhere, man. Right? But y'all go look up and y'all look. Let's go to any respectable search engine. Google. We all use Google. Go to Google and type in the name of your city, and then type next to it climate action and resilience plans. See what you come up with. right? What the climate action and resilient plans are contingency plans, right? And compulsory plans, right? That each city has adopted these tenets from the United Nations in conjunction with the United Nations or UN Agenda 2030 for global sustainability, right? And the climate action and resilience plans are the plans, right, administered to the governments from the United Nations, but being implemented by the various nations and cities. And the climate action and resilient plans are the plans or the basically the protocols or the procedures on how to prevent your city from being a non-smart city, right? And in the climate action resilient plans, what you see is that they are talking about what will be a result environmentally wise, societally wise. What it says is what it's going to be as a result, right, of not upgrading your city's infrastructure to be synced and linked to the smart grid. And through the climate action and resilient plans, right, if your city doesn't upgrade its infrastructure fast enough to be synced and linked to the smart grid, they came up with the climate action and resilient plans, right, to put the I'm talking about to put the chokehold on city and local governments, or state and local governments, to comply with the doctrine, I guess, if you will, of the United Nations through UN Agenda 2030 by basically within these climate action and resilient plans, basically laying out what type of weather you will be subject to facing if you don't upgrade your infrastructure to the smart grid fast enough, or to be linked and synced to the smart grid fast enough. The climate action and resilient plans were put together to basically let us know what type of weather, environmental situations we would experience as a result of not syncing and linking our city's infrastructure to the smart grid. Understand what I'm talking about now, y'all? Right? And this query that is called CAP. They're talking about eliminating greenhouse gases, man. Don't you understand if they eliminate that, that means there's going to be no more humans on the planet? Don't you understand that we need carbon dioxide to breathe, literally? Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to tell y'all, man.
Crucial city systems has the ability to function well on a regular basis, build in redundancy in order to continue operating during extreme weather, withstand the pressures of urban stresses, and bounce back from disasters.
Number 4, institutional capacity. Knowing that something needs to be done isn't the same as having the know-how to do it. For a city to be resilient, government officials need to understand how to assess risk, identify the most vulnerable people and systems, and develop and implement actions to enhance resilience.
5.
I'll tell y'all what resilience means to these people.
Community development. City-level technological and engineering solutions for urban infrastructure and civil works are great, but resilience is also about local community development. Everyone, especially the poor and vulnerable, should understand the causes and drivers of risk and vulnerability.
So if y'all not understand all this stuff, then why is the American government giving all this money to illegal immigrants for housing, but we have a overburdeningly, right? We have an overburden of a homeless population in our country right now. The so-called richest country on this planet has a population of homeless people that is staggering and increasingly getting bigger. Now, this will be another reason to come up with sustainable housing, sustainable right? Sustainable buildings and communities, or sustainable cities and communities, putting everybody on the same level playing field. How would you end poverty? By making it illegal. What about people who can't afford to live? Assigned housing. How are people going to be able to afford to pay for their life? Assigned employment. What about the elderly? Oh man, they're useless eaters. Give them the demise pill. What about the kids? Oh, the kids, we call them the spies. We're going to indoctrinate them with this ideology, this demonic Luciferic based ideology, and we're going to turn them into rat bastards. Tekashi 6ix9ine, Gunna, so many else that have rat bastard, right? Y'all get where I'm going with this? Yeah, and also the actual climate in the air and in the ocean. Like literally. Right? Y'all ever see cloud seeding? Y'all see what they be moving that cloud seeding? My brother Uncle Digging in the building, what's good? Right? Climate and environment are not the same thing. I want y'all to understand about these climate action and resilient plans. Type in the name of your city and you put next to it climate action and resilience plan or plan and see what you come up with. That's going to be the contingency plan or the protocols that would lead to a contingency plan, right? It's going to let you know what type of weather you will be experiencing or what type of environmental calamities you will experience in your city if you don't upgrade your infrastructure to be synced and linked to the smart grid fast enough. I know in my city, Columbus, Ohio, it said in our climate action resilient plan that we are to experience extreme wind events, extreme heating events, and extreme flooding events, all which we have been experiencing in the past, let's say, years since I've been home alone. I'm telling y'all, man, these little creeks in our neighborhoods that are intentionally flooding them and inundating them. They building these stack 'em, pack 'em housing everywhere that they charging an arm and a leg for. Y'all better pay attention to what's happening, man. Pay attention, y'all, man.
Be supported to find their pathways to enhancing the resilience of their own households and livelihoods.
Number 6.
How are they going to track and trace? How are they going to track and trace what goes on inside of our homes? I mean, I'll tell you, I better pay attention to this UN Agenda 2030, man.
The private sector. The private sector drives economic growth, but it suffers substantial losses as a result of climate-related shocks and stresses. Businesses should invest in protecting their physical assets and supply chains. At the same time, they can work with governments through public, private, and community partnerships to provide urban lifeline utilities, such as communications, energy, transport, water, and wastewater systems.
7. Catalyzing finance. All of the other entry points need resources, both people and money. Catalyzing finance is important to the success of resilience, and cities should use both proven and innovative approaches to access and program finances from public, private, commercial, and donor sources into projects that enhance urban resilience.
Leveraging the potential of the 7 entry points will help ensure UCCR initiatives are able to support urban areas to adopt a systemic approach.
that will help them to not only function, but also flourish despite the shocks and stresses induced by a changing climate and the disasters that come with it.
You did? Hey, man, listen, I'm trying to tell y'all about this stuff, man. You hear me? UN Agenda 2030 for global sustainability. Mega structures, mega regions, wildlands project, wildlands urban interface, urban growth boundaries, mega structures, recycle, right? Recycle, y'all. See, I didn't know this, y'all. Recycle is also the name given to a Roblox myth, Recycle Child. Type in, walk with us, y'all. Smash that like button, click on the bell, and subscribe to the page, man. Right? Share on your social engineering. You did. Tap in and walk with us. You know? So, yeah, man, I'll be sitting here breaking this thing down to y'all, man, because I want y'all to have an understanding of what this stuff means, man. What they talking about when they talk about this stuff, man. Right? Sustainable cities and communities. Right? Let's go. Right? It's a movie I want y'all to go check out. It's on Netflix. Right? Sustainable development or sustainable cities and communities. Y'all ever see this movie right here? Y'all ever heard of this movie right here? Well, y'all ever heard of this movie, Vivarium? I suggest y'all go check this movie out. This movie is ill. Stack 'em, pack 'em. Not so quite, but definitely talking about sustainable communities, sustainable cities. Everything looks the same. Notice that when you look at these new apartments. Notice that when you look at these new housing developments, they all look the same. They are identical. You walk in somebody's house, they move to their new apartment, you're like, damn, this looks familiar. This is like my place. There are 3, 4, 5, 6 level buildings. All have the same floor plan, layout plan. Uniformity. They are perceptually preemptively programming our psyches to be prepared for this stuff. This is why they come in with the whole thing of the tiny houses. Y'all seen them TV shows about tiny houses and all that? Them tiny houses, that's a part of resilience. Not being able to recover from adversity or trying situations and events. But no, resilience now means our ability to survive with less and less. Living in stack 'em, pack 'em units in 20 housing on top of each other like sardines, like how they got them in them favelas down in Rio. Look at the favelas, man. The hood, the ghetto. They are literally living on top of each other. Literally. But they literally live on top of each other. Right? It's crazy, right? This is absolutely insane. This is insane. This is not sustainable. They can't track and trace all of this. So what they're going to do is they're going to make it increasingly difficult for people to live in rural areas. The people that already live in the overpopulated urban areas, along with the poor people, along with the homeless population, they're about to start cramming us all into these human settlement zones, living in megastructures. And the reason why they're bringing all these immigrants in, illegal immigrants, is because they, along with the rest of us that's already here, we're planned to be the new slave population, the new slave workforce. Now, mind you, they don't even need a lot of us, which is why we got these weak-ass depopulation agendas in place right now. Right? They're trying to reduce our numbers by making our living situations increasingly worse. And the worse they get, the more we're being adapted to them. They're getting us used to living with less and less and less, right? That's what resilience means now. It means our ability to cope with less. That's what resilience means now. It doesn't mean our ability to bounce back from adversity or trying times or challenging things. It means to be able to cope with living with less things, not having access to a lot of stuff, living in dense populated mega structures on top of each other, like in the favelas, right? Down in Rio. But if you watch a movie like Dread, you understand me? If you watch a movie like Dread, I'm telling y'all, man, y'all need to check this movie out, man. This is where we are headed. This is where we headed, y'all. Mega cities, mega structures. Look at this map right here. That's Mega City 1. right? All one city, 800 million people live in this region. And as you watch this movie, what you see is that these mega structures right here, mega structures, you see how they tower over the rest of the buildings? The mega structures are on the way. So when you think about where they're going to house all these illegal immigrants, where they're going to house all these migrants, so-called refugees, prisoners, or victims of whatever happened in their country. All of this stuff with migration is going on purpose, right? Because America is designed to be, right, a place of massive, I'm talking about massive global production of consumer products. And America is designed to be where that happens, which is why they're going to put us in human settlement zones. And they're bringing up all these illegals, immigrants from Central America, South America, Mexico, because it's planned for them and their offspring to be the ones working in these factories, in these human settlement zones, and in these buffer zones, where it's highly regulated, the damn near no human use whatsoever. And then you got the red zones, where there's absolutely no human use whatsoever. You know? So I encourage y'all to go watch Dread, man, so y'all can be familiar with stuff like with the concept of these mega cities and mega structures, right? Tap in and walk with us, man. We about to get up out of here, man. Now tomorrow night, y'all, there ain't gonna be no show tomorrow because I gotta work. Well, hold on. We might do a late night show. See, I get off of work at 11 tomorrow. So we might do a late night show tomorrow, man. I might hit y'all with a late night surprise show. You did. This weekend, I'm going to be working at this Comic-Con event we having in the city. It's a bootleg Comic-Con event. So it's going to be popping, man. It's a very interesting situation. So it's going to be, I ain't going to be doing no shows Friday night wrap up this week. No Saturday night show this week. But what I will do on Friday, sometime in the early morning or afternoon, I'll do a live stream, and then sometime Saturday in the same area, I'm going to do that as well. So just be on the lookout for y'all, man. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. Sharing social engineering, hit that super chat, hit that super thanks, hit that super gift, hit all the supers. You need tap in and walk with us. Y'all ready to live in mega structures? Y'all ready to live in buildings that house 75,000 plus people? Y'all think these people that run this reality ain't got the technology to build these mega structures without no difficulty? Tap in, walk with us, man. Smash that like button, click on the bell, and subscribe to the page, man. Do y'all hear me, man? I'm sitting up here trying to tell y'all, man. I'm just saying, God, man, come on, bruh. Like, this is crazy, man. Tap in and walk with us, y'all, man. I just want y'all to be aware of this stuff, man. I want y'all to be privy to this stuff and know what's going on, right? You did. Tap in and walk with us, y'all. We going in, man. You hear me? I'm going to hit y'all with a surprise situation tomorrow, too. You did? I'm going to hit y'all with a surprise situation tomorrow, you know? We about to get up out of here, y'all. Y'all know I'm gonna get these shows down to under 2 hours, man. You did. Tap in, walk with us, man. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page. Share your social engineering. Bless all the Cash Apps and PayPals and Super Chats, gifts, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? We want to keep the language clean. We're going to get these videos monetized, man. You did? Huh? You know, we ain't playing no games, man. We trying to make things happen, man. Hmm. You know what I'm talking about? Smash that like button, click on the bell and all that. Why is it doing all that, though? Yeah, see, we ain't about to do all that either. We ain't going to wait for all of that. You feel me? All right. Tap in and walk with us, man. I keep telling y'all, man, the mega cities and the mega structures, they are on the way. They are coming. They're on the way. Y'all think it's a game? Think I'm just making this stuff up? I mean, and that's why I always reiterate, because people be, like I said, people be hitting me up, y'all. People really think that I be making this stuff up. Like, they really think that for real. That's crazy. Like I said, I take it as a, you know, I take it as I guess a compliment, I guess. At times, depends. Tap that like button, walk. Hey, man, we about to go in, man. We out of here, man. Thank y'all for coming out. We appreciate your attendance tonight, man. Smash that like button on your way out and all of that, man. Y'all need to wake up, man. Stop being woke, man. Woke is the past tense of wake. You feel me? Don't be a fake woke nigga, man. Tap in, walk with us.
We bringing this message to you fake woke niggas. Gotta wake these niggas up, man. All y'all out there spreading the lies and falling victim to this propaganda. Niggas believe in it. Glitch. Talk to these niggas. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily. So I dance around them like my name was Alvin A. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily. Alarm clock, wake 'em up, time to wake 'em up. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily. So I dance around them like my name was Alvin A. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily. Alarm clock, wake 'em up, time to wake 'em up. I gotta set the alarm, wake you up from your slumber. Floyd and Harry, fake woke niggas, y'all done dumbass. Drop jewels, but people don't pay any attention. Let's be immediately, we the wake 'em up henchmen. A lot of times these woke niggas be really sleep. Shit, the price on a nigga's life is extra real cheap. Only the real from my niggas, we all only we made a living eating these rappers, nigga. Bon appetit. Yeah, pause. Me and my brethren be down for the cause. We gotta come together and tear down all these walls. And illusory fault lines like racism and bring light to the woke, just like the Baptist. The congregation spoke. These niggas ain't who they claim to be. A bunch of Peter pop off niggas really be lame to me. Anytime you at war, it's gonna be casualties. The more we come together, it's easy to beat the enemies. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily. So I dance around them like my name was Alvin A. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily. Alarm clock, wake 'em up, time to wake 'em up. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily. So I dance around them like my name was Alvin A. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily. Alarm clock, Wake 'em up, time to wake 'em up. Alarm clock to the woke, time to wake 'em up. The main initiative should be to get your cake up. You wave riding niggas need life jackets to stay afloat. Meanwhile, I'm blowing on gas straight from the ivory cast.
And every post I be hitting, y'all with them straight facts. The smart grid is down here, we gotta face that. While they coming with microchip and vaccinations, they know niggas perpetuating indoctrination.
This pandemic scam, this was a damn gimmick. Niggas will believe that they mom died if she still living. Open your eyes, nigga, you can see the lies, niggas. We gotta stop letting the blind lead the blind, nigga.
And that's the biggest fact, which you better tell them niggas. Listen, 10 to 2030, it's gonna be hell, niggas. Fuck AOC and her new Green Deal. I'm